I'm JoeJoeKeys. This is episode 244, Indie Music Live. How's everybody doing? Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to probably edit that out in the beginning. Only the people that will be watching the live version here will probably see what just happened, but that's okay. Dave couldn't come tonight. He had like an important meeting or something to do with like, I don't know, Burger King or crypto. I don't know, something, whatever he's doing right now. I don't know. And so it's just me. It's just me and our featured artist, Katie Fry, tonight. But before we get to Katie Fry, we're going to be checking out the band Atomic Berries with their brand new single Shit Hits the Van, which is a review upcoming on the website very soon. Just a side note, like Todd said this last episode, we've kind of been in a transition mode this year. Mainly like we've been doing this for about 6 years. And I've just been like really burnt out and busy with other stuff. So unfortunately, Indie Music Live has suffered a little bit, and it's totally my fault because I'm the one that does the daily operations and all that stuff. So if you've been waiting for a review to be posted, I am back on it, and I'm going to complete every single review that needs to be done by the end of the year. But we have been keeping up with the reviews on the show, so we're up to date on the reviews on the show. Katie Fry actually has a review in progress too, but just so happens we're going to have her as a featured artist to start with anyway. So she's just that good. So let's go ahead and check out Shit Hits the Van by Atomic Berries, and we'll be right back. Atomic Berries with Shit Hits the Van. These guys have been on they haven't actually been on the show like as a guest, but we've reviewed their music many times over the past 5 or 6 years. And it's one of those bands that just keeps getting better. I believe they're from Europe again. I don't remember exactly where they're from, but they keep coming out with new singles and they keep getting better. If you're into the electronic stuff, their production is just leveling up every single time. I'm sure Dave could talk about it for 20 minutes, but he's not here. So, but I was listening to it today. I'm going to be writing a review on it soon, so you'll get a little more in depth on what I think. But good stuff. The singer's vocal always seems to be. I think this is the band. I think that they always seem to distort it. And I think that it probably could maybe just be a little clearer. But overall, the song and the overall depth and width or whatever you want to call it of the production is very fat. And definitely cool. So it's going to be a shorty but a goodie tonight. Like I said, Dave is doing something. I don't know, probably something to do with the old ladies in his building. I'm not really sure, but you know how he rolls. He doesn't celebrate holidays, so I know it wasn't about Thanksgiving. Speaking of which, I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. I went to Columbus, drank a bunch of beer, and stayed with my parents in their new house, and it was quite fun. Took all 3 cats with me. 3 cats in a car for 7 hours. You do the math. It's a lot of fun. And I spilled my coffee. So my car really smells really good right now. Coffee and cat poop, pretty much. But anyway, Katie Fry from Northern California tonight. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for being here on time and hanging out with us and being patient as we get things set up. And I totally mess up the intro of the show and all that stuff. But 244 is the episode you're on. So this is where I kind of give the featured artist, I give you a second to kind of give your elevator pitch if I ran into you in the elevator and you're like, hi, I'm Katie Fry and I do this and that. How would you fill in the blanks? And then we'll check out your one of your songs, My California, and we'll get a little deeper with Dave, but it'll be with Joe.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. My name is Katie Fry. I'm a singer-songwriter based out of Sacramento, California. And this year I popped up out of nowhere. I've sort of been on a hiatus for the last 10 years. I used to play with a band and also as a soloist around the Sacramento area and San Francisco, but it had been a while. So I just came back out into the world, decided to make music again, put out an EP, and I'm already working on recordings for my next batch of music, which will be a full length.
Nice. Sweet. So let's go ahead and get a sample of My California. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
I came from tailgate parties, gravel roads, and horses' noses led me to my door. I came from swimming in the lake under the starlight where you can see Eddie city lights. I'm not from Hollywood, don't live near the beach. When I say California, it's always what they ask me. I don't need to move to Nashville to write a bluegrass song. I've always been a country girl all along. My California. I came from the Rio Green River, the one from a Creedence song, it's just a mile away. I came from running through the fields under the moonlight where you can't see any city lights. I'm not from Hollywood, don't live near the beach. When I say California, it's always what they ask me. I don't need to move to Nashville to write a bluegrass song. I've always been a country girl all along. My California. I came from tailgate parties, gravel roads, and horses' noses led me to my door.
Don't think about or know. I know on when I was touring on like West Coast, California, Oregon, Washington and stuff, we spent a lot of time in Northern California and it's just amazing up there. So I don't know much about Sacramento, but why don't you just give us a little, give us a little background on you when you're starting music and living in California. And, I know that song's about your childhood home getting burnt down in the recent fires and stuff, I believe.
Yeah. So I started playing music in band. I played the flute. And then in high school, I was in the marching band. I actually was a drum majorette. So I was the
Nice.
person in front of the band waving my arms around.
Yeah.
And then I started to learn guitar and piano, and always with the intent to be able to create and write music. And the rest is history.
So you said you were doing like, was it cover bands or original bands? You said about 10 years ago. I mean, obviously we don't know your age or anything like that. We won't get into that. But like 10 years ago, I mean, you look like you're 25, but
Oh, thank
10
you.
years ago was like, 2010, 2011. What kind of music were you doing back then? And then did you take a break to have kids, or what was the reason you took a break from music?
It was my original music. I used to go by my first and my middle name, Katie Jane.
Okay.
It had a slightly different sound. As I mentioned before, it was a full band. So there was a little more electric guitar in there and that early 2000s sound that had more reverb in it. We had a lot of fun. And then, yeah, I switched gears for a little bit. I did have children. And also I went to school and I learned how to play the harp.
Oh, wow.
I became a therapeutic bedside musician. So
Nice.
I play music at the bedside for people in hospice or memory
Nice.
care. And then when last year happened and the pandemic hit, I stopped working doing that. And I thought, well, what am I going to do? So I decided to record and publish some music. And some of the songs I pulled from long ago and had rewritten them, but I also challenged myself to write new songs and specifically non-love songs. My California is one of them. And although it's happy-go-lucky sounding, it did originate with my feeling really sad about my childhood home that had burnt down in the fire. We had a really terrible fire year that year, and a wildfire came and destroyed like 700 homes and farms in the area that I grew up in. And so I wanted to reflect on what made it so special. And I really pulled on my memories. I grew up next to the lake and there were creeks, and I referenced Green River from Credence because they made our town a little famous. They would come and visit Pewter Creek, and they wrote Green River, and they said on an interview, I think it was with Rolling Stones once, that's where it was from. So there's bits and pieces in my video of the creek and the lake, and we have a very famous dam that has what's called the glory hole. It's like a big giant, basically looks like a drain.
Yeah, I saw that in the video. Yeah, I was wondering where that came from. Like, that's interesting to put in. Must be symbolic or something.
It is. And so I had a lot of fun doing that, and the song is fun, and it's reflecting on how happy of a place it is, even though.
Yeah. So on the harp piece, my wife is a music therapist, so I can relate to you on the healing properties of music and just how music can, help people through different things, especially passing on to the next side. And then like the My California on your house, I'm sure everybody can relate to, even if it's not losing their home or their childhood home, it's leaving it, hopefully, if they're real, adults not living with their parents anymore. And, it's just sort of to look back and reminisce on that. And it's just sort of, it's weird that you don't, have that to go to anymore. 700 houses is like, I'm from Indiana. That's like my whole town that I grew up in, pretty much, just gone.
It was like 3 or 4 different towns.
Wow.
Yeah, rural area.
So moving forward, you wanted to also mention the other song that you wanted to talk about that you're going to, I guess, run one of your new singles or something. What's it, 1 Foot Forward?
Yeah, it's actually on My California, the EP.
Okay.
It's called 1 Foot at a Time.
1 Foot at a Time.
It's about empathy. And I actually came up with it just thinking about that phrase or that quote, they all put their pants on we all put our pants on 1 foot at a time, one leg at a time. Yeah. 1 leg at a time. And then I was thinking, well, shoes, everyone's got a different walk of life, young, old, different things that we do, different jobs. And if everyone could just tap into that empathy and before they judge someone, think about, we all put our shoes on one foot at a time.
Yeah, amen. We definitely need the empathy thing more and more these days with everything that's going on. That's for sure. People are way too quick to jump to judgment. So on both sides, honestly. So yeah, so cool. So you said you're going to be coming out. You're writing music for a full length. And you have any names for it, or do you have any idea when it's going to be out?
I do. So I actually put a song on my Bandcamp. It's not mixed yet, so I didn't dump it into iTunes and Spotify and all of that. But it's called The New Year Came, and I am playing flute on it, kind of sloppy jam band Jethro Tull style. But it starts out very melancholy with my piano, and it's a song I wrote on New Year Day a couple years ago. And then the album is going to be called Running Against the Wind, and I recently wrote the song called Running Against the Wind about a month ago. And in October I had surgery which disrupted my life, but it went really well, and I was stuck in bed healing for a little while. And the first time I got up and sat next to my piano and started playing, I came up with Running Against the Wind. And I was just kind of visualizing myself like totally healed, running against the wind.
Cool.
It's very it just kind of came out. Sometimes songs are just born that way.
Yeah. It's amazing when it happens too. You just got to remember to remember them. That's what I've found is the key when that kind of stuff happens. So wrapping up then. So moving even more forward, are you going to be doing any live shows or anything like that in the near future? Any live playing happening other than besides, bedsides?
Yes. This year, spring and summer, I played mainly outdoor venues, some wineries and breweries and a few festivals. And I plan to do that again next year.
Do you do that as a solo, or do you bring the other musicians with you?
I mainly played solo, but I had a few people sit in with me, and there might be a couple surprises next year as well. I like having people join in. It's more fun that way.
Of course. Yeah. And then social media wise, where can people find you the most? And give us your website also, please.
Website is katiefry.com, and Instagram and Facebook is at katiefrymusic.
Cool. All right. So any other final words you'd like to leave us with tonight? Help people remember who you are or what you're doing or anything?
Well, thank you again for having me. And
Pleasure. Thank you
for all of my friends, family, and fans that have supported me. It's been really exciting, and I can't wait for everyone to hear the new music.
Sweet. Well, congratulations on the new stuff and the new baby and all that stuff. And don't be a stranger. We love to have featured artists back. As you come out with new music and stuff, you can just hit me up. And we always like to have you back as kind of like a co-host or like a panel guest where you kind of help us with the music as well. We didn't have you that tonight, but that's what happened. So just be in touch. You got my email and all that stuff. So thanks for being here, Katie. And we'll wrap things up then. Normally Dave talks for another 20 minutes or something, and then we talk about Bitcoin and everybody falls asleep. Where'd Rob go? All right. Hixvideo, Hixvideo. If you need help with the live stream production, and I don't know what happened to Rob, but I think he's still here. So we will see you guys. I don't know when the next show is. It's soon. We have 2 more for the rest of the year, and then we'll take a break over the holidays, and then come back in 2022. So there's Rob. He's all the way across the room. Whoa, that's fancy, Rob. Fancy stuff. All right, y'all have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Thank you.